And now I know what everyone's actually tuning in for. Everyone is wondering, what is DSP up to? Everyone's sitting with bated breath waiting for that DSP update. Well, let's listen to DSP for a bit.
6 million. Cheese Pizza Rat did a super chat. Says, in my opinion, 6 million is an exaggerated figure. I agree with you. 6 million. That's a pretty interesting number, isn't it? 6 million. 6 million people.
Oh, I see he's doing well. That's not the clip I actually wanted to play all the way through, but I thought I might as well because it made me laugh. So there's this guy, it's called like the Hate Watch Army. He's like a Wings 007 guy for DSP. There's many DSP detractors out there doing videos. His videos are pretty high quality. And to my surprise, DSP has done something rather smart where he has dedicated like an hour or two before his main streams where he just does like his pre-stream rambling, and his video game content is fucking awful, but his pre-stream rambling can be really funny because DSP is like a total midwit, like at best. This guy is between 90 and 100 IQ, right down the middle, the kind of person that you give an accounting degree and then you stick him in an office somewhere and forget about him, and he just handles your taxes in your company. That's like his range. But DSP has this thing where he's just like, he thinks that he has some sort of grand insight. He's like permanently stuck in the middle of that valley where he thinks for whatever reason that he's way more like learned than he is. So he'll sit there for 2 hours and detail in excruciating detail, like way over the top, enumerating everything about some story to explain a point that could be summed up in one sentence. And in this video, he's explaining why he was late. And it's a 30-minute story. It takes him 30 minutes to explain something, which I could sum up in a sentence, but I'm going to kind of scan through it and let him do the explaining, because I find it very funny, and you may not. I haven't played much of DSP, but I hope that everyone else will find his story interesting. So let's start. I already have to skip. There it is. Let's see. I want to go to 525. 25.
Because of this shit. Anyway, today we're going to have a fun streaming day of multiple games. We'll get to the schedule after my story. Okay? Okay.
Okay, I clipped that, and I forgot, like, why did I clip that? And I realized, in 10 seconds, he burps, he coughs, and he snorts. Like, he goes through every phase, like, short of farting into, or queefing into the camera. He goes through every phase of, like, gaseous expulsion in a couple of breaths. It's pretty amazing. But he continues.
So, back then, my friends would come over, we'd play Street Fighter together a lot. I was still kind of trying to get back into competitive Street Fighter. At that point, Street Fighter 4 was all the rage, and all my friends were into it, including me. I was trying to get into it and go to tournaments and stuff. And one time I remember, now I very rarely cooked anything complex in my home back then. Being, single, what do I have to cook? Anything complex? I was just cooking for me, so I would rarely cook. When I did, I would make a shitty Cooking with the King video. It would be hilarious, and everyone would make fun of me because I didn't know how to cook, right? Right. Everyone remembers that. So anyway, one time, one of my friends says, I know how to cook, and what I'd like to do is make us all like pork chops. So why don't we go to the grocery store, buy some ingredients, and I'll make us breaded pork chops. We can eat it while we play Street Fighter today. I said, that sounds great to me. That's better than us, ordering out some shitty fast food or whatever. Let's do that. Awesome. So we did so. And I remember we made the pork chops. They were pretty good. And one of the things that we had bought were panko breadcrumbs, okay? I still remember the box, what it looked like. I'm not even kidding. I remember what the box of panko breadcrumbs looked like. So, me being stupid, not knowing anything about food, not knowing how to store it or anything, after we ate, I literally had the box of panko breadcrumbs that I just put right into my cupboard, my upper, cabinets in the kitchen, closed it, and never thought about it ever again. I'm serious. I never gave it another thought. Likely 1 to 2 years later, I'm not exaggerating, yes, 1 to 2 years later, after being a full-time YouTuber, after dedicating all my time to making videos and not giving a thought to anything in that kitchen, one day I start to notice I've got bugs in the kitchen. And they're these little bugs that kind of look like ants, but they're not. And they have wings, but the weirdest thing about them is they're not flying. Okay? I don't know what the hell they were. And I start mentioning them. I start noticing them all over the kitchen. Oh, what the fuck is this? So, of course, now I go on a search. Where are these coming from? And I open the cabinet, and I see a ton of them in there. And I start squishing them only to find out they're all infested in the box of panko breadcrumbs. All right? The box was full of them. Apparently, they not only come to eat, but I guess they might have even laid eggs in that cabinet because there was an insane amount of them. The whole cabinet was full of them. So I had to go in there full force with alcohol/cleaning agents and smash and kill a ridiculous amount of insects. It took hours of work. It was absolutely disgusting, of course. I have to get rid of that many. It was very nasty, okay? And after that, I was creeped out, of course. That's you know, a bug. I don't care about a bug here or there. When you get an infestation like that, that's disgusting, right? It's like, fuck, that's really nasty, okay? So this was, you know, again, over a decade ago in my place in Connecticut. Long past history. But I do have, not necessarily a phobia, but, like, I want to keep a clean house now. And ever since then, I've made an honest effort to make sure that my home is clean and doesn't have food and shit lying around. So that way there's no potential that we could get any kind of an infestation of bugs or anything here. In fact, in my home right now. Okay.
I'm going to stop him here.
Anything that I have that's...
So that entire story, 3 minutes long, I have the timestamps. He explains in excruciating detail what his bug and his history, not even what's happening right now, just his history with bug infestations. 10 years ago, he was living with some guys in Connecticut, and his friend wanted to play fighting games with him, and they were playing fighting games, and his friend said, let's get something to eat, but instead of let's going out to eat, I'll cook pork chops. So he said, okay, I'll cook pork chops. So they bought breadcrumbs, right? And then they didn't use them all, and they went into a pantry. So he knows the history of what he was doing, when he was doing, what he was doing with, and then the full history of this box of breadcrumbs that leads up to the infestation of an unknown arthropod, which has wings but yet does not fly. It has wings but cannot fly, and the process of exterminating it. So this is completely superfluous. This is a 3-minute story about an ant infestation that has no fucking point. He then goes on to explain that he cleans profusely. Everything in his home is now in plastic containers. It's not left open. And his backyard is all concrete, so he doesn't know where insects would come from. And then he bought ant spray and sprayed around, and that didn't work. And then he set 6 ant traps, and that didn't work. And now we're 18 minutes into a 27-minute long video, and he starts explaining. I think this is the part where he starts telling a story about the cat that I want to play.
But by the way, this is the first time really ever that we've seen this. I've lived here 8 years. I've never seen really an ant in a house. Let's say there's never been an ant. I guarantee you there has been. But I've never really seen an ant in a house.
Now we're finally on the topic of the ants in his house that have delayed his stream, which has led to a 20-minute long talk. We're at 20 minutes now into this 27-minute long clip, and he's explaining that he has never actually seen ants, so he doesn't know where they come from, but he has more stories to tell about prior infestations.
The only real bug problems I've ever had here, number one year, there was a really bad, those little fruit flies, little red ones. There was a bad situation where they found a place to reproduce in the house, and they laid eggs, and then they were all over. I had to swat and kill a bajillion of them, and then I got rid of them. And then there was another, excuse me. Another thing is spiders. We used to have a bad problem with spiders. Spiders out here in the fall in particular, they can get quite big. Like, I've seen spiders this big, I'm not kidding. That fucking big black spiders. They're not poisonous, thank God. But, yeah, it's kind of creepy when you see giant spiders all over the house. But we haven't really seen that since we got Jasper. I think what it is Jasper takes them out. He sees the baby spider, he gets rid of it, so it never has a chance to grow huge. Because I've not seen many spiders since we got Jasper. So it's a problem. So why was I late to stream? I was literally with my wife cleaning the whole downstairs, area. I took everything out of the cupboard. I was squishing ants, and then she took out the mop, the Swiffer mop, and she was cleaning the whole floor. And then she vacuumed, she Swiffered everything, trying to clean up. And hopefully, This is not an ongoing problem. Now I got 6 traps out, right? But what I will do, I will take that advice from, I forgot his name and I apologize, I already forgot. He said get the bug spray and spray around the perimeter of the house. I will do that too.
Jasper kills the
absolutely.
blacks.
I'm going to do that because I got to do everything at this point. This is
Kills the black spiders.
You got to get rid of it. Can't have ants keep coming in the house for our food and shit especially when there's nothing in here. Like, what are they coming in here for? They're not getting anything. So why do they keep coming back, right?
A normal person. Sorry, guys, I was late. There were ants in my cupboard. I had to kill them. DSP, 27-minute long diatribe about his total interactive history with insectoids and also his cat's adventures in killing BBS spiders throughout his home. I don't know. I was listening to this while playing Dead by Daylight, and it was some great background entertainment, and I kept laughing because, like, what a fucking clown. What a clown.